It's the last special video. So to sum up, I feel like I play this game way too often. Still end up liking the game. Despite everything I say, I still love the game. It's just, I don't know. And I can't really think of anything else to play. I'm pretty much at this point, I'm kind of like done on the games. So I need to pick up some new games. And I'm not in a position to do that right now. So maybe we'll get back to Tomb Raider soon. The only thing about Tomb Raider is it was like a really hard game, so it's like not very motivated to play it. I kind of like playing games that I already know how to play. I'll be weird, but yeah. I definitely like some of the games that I started though. So I definitely have a couple new games that I can play. This is basically what my goal was anyway. So yeah, to summarize, I'm level 19, and I like this barely, as I said, barely successful. So, yeah. This is like absolute complete bare bones, as bare bones as you can get, without getting any magic, without buying anything. The next area is relatively easy, but the one immediately after that is really hard. So, once I get to the next area, I'll pretty much have a feel for exactly how hard this challenge is going to be. North is relatively hard as well, and then Gilgavegan after that. So I might go as far as Gilgavegan, but we'll see. Pretty much have to run away from this guy. I think you pretty much run away from this guy no matter what. Put it this way, if you're not like higher than level 20, then yeah, you should probably run. You don't have enough time to fight him. But you do have to fight the second guy. He ends up being kind of hard as well. He's not nearly. I think he's actually easier than this guy is, though. He had to be pretty high level. Mostly it's about the time, I think, but I think he actually is higher level as well. Not entirely sure about that, though. Excuse me. Oh, I'm gonna fail. Wow. I always thought he was hard, but damn. There is a hunt over here. I didn't go do that. I don't know how much that's gonna help me though. So I would say like level 22 for this area, level 22, level 25, level 26 for the next area. Level 30 seems about right actually. Yeah, I would call it like level 22, level 23 for this area, level 20, level 30 for the next area, so about 8 levels per area. 40 for the next area, and 50 for your bottom. And for Arcadia specifically, like probably 45 actually, because there's actually 2 areas up there. That's one thing I always kind of forget. There's like 2 areas because there's also what do you call it? Um, not the Sulaca Wood, but whatever is after that. There's Fawn Coast, there's Arcadia, and then there's the pirate area. But there's one more area over there technically, and that's a higher level area. So I would say that's like level 50, and then level 55 we go south, and then level 60. This makes sense. I think that's the thing I always forget that there's actually 2 areas in north, and as a matter of fact, there's 3 areas because I would say level 60 is more or less right. I would say level 50 is more or less right for for um for novel beast, but it's hard to say. I don't think I've ever actually done novel beast like the correct way. So say like level 50, maybe level 55, probably, and then level 60, probably definitely. So definitely level 60, like for sure. I'm thinking level 55, but it might be challenging at that level. And I'm usually and it's pretty challenging at level 60, to be perfectly honest. It like remains to be challenging all the way up to level 70. Once you get past level 70, it's not really challenging anymore though. I don't really need to go up. This is like the first area that actually gives you decent experience. See what I'm saying though about experience? Like every monster is dropping me like 200 experience, so that first area, like there's just no way you can level up forever and just never level up. I feel like I'm going out of my way a little bit, but at least I'm doing a hunt. So technically, by the rules I already created, this is fine because I'm going on a hunt. I'm not just doing this just to do this. I'm doing this for a reason. I think that's the primary goal, really. Like, as long as you're actually doing something and you're not like roaming around just to roam around, because that's just boring. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do against this guy. There you go. Not too bad. I feel like that barely helped me. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to beat this wall. I'm gonna have to level up a lot before beating him. And I ran out of hunts to do. I think I'm just gonna have to level up some more. As much as I hate it, there's no way I'm gonna do this without leveling up. Especially because this one is timed. I'm not really sure what I want to do. Call me crazy, but I feel like I failed at this point. Because even being level 20, because I feel like I'm actually a little over leveled at this point. It's not enough. Like, I think I've officially failed. But I'm not going to be able to do enough damage to this wall. I haven't been able to find any decent weapons. And there's no way for me to get past him. Not that I know of. I have to fight him. There's not a lot of shortcuts in this game. There are a couple, but there aren't many. As a matter of fact, there's only a handful of shortcuts that I even know about. I feel like that barely even helped. I mean, technically, just trying to think. I did not buy it. So I'm gonna say I did not buy it. And technically, stupid or not, it's a thing you can do in the game. I don't know what. Sometimes I'm just not sure why people complain about things. It's a thing I can do in the game. If I wasn't supposed to be able to throw a phoenix down at Dustia, then they shouldn't have programmed it that way. So it's obviously something I can do. Cheat or not, it's a thing I can do. And instead of spending hours and hours of hours leveling up fighting wolves, I can do it faster by killing Dustia. To be honest, it's really not that stupid of a hack, if you want to call it a hack. Like, yeah, maybe it's kind of a hack, but I can I could argue that it's definitely a hack. But like, as you can see, I'm level 20 and I'm actually struggling. So technically, I did not buy this. That's all I gotta say. And I'm not even sure how much it's gonna help. need a couple more license points. Like seriously, I'm not even sure if it's gonna help. So I'm gonna say that this is fair game, and anybody who argues with me, then well, whatever. I did not buy it. It was not purchased. And you can totally farm. You can totally farm Phoenix Downs. And if you can't farm Phoenix Downs, then you can find them. So if you played long enough, you would be able to find them. So technically, everything I have in the game is findable or lookable. The only thing I did was skip a little bit of time. That's really all I did. Because I don't feel like playing this game for hours and hours and hours. And I've already played it for like 12 hours. Like I saved myself a little bit of time. Ultimately, that's all I did. I saved myself a little bit of time. I would argue leveling up to level 30 would probably be too much. But don't level any higher than level 30. Playing this as is now, level 20 is definitely not enough, but level 30 would definitely be enough. But then you're gonna struggle when you go north. I think I agree with level 40, to be honest. That takes you all the way up to the north. Then you can get the double experience thing, and then you can start leveling up. Like you need to get to level 40. Like I've really contemplated about this, and I think that's pretty much what you need to do. You need to get yourself to level 40. Once you're at level 40, you can stop. Then once you're in the north, you have to find the double experience stuff, and then you should be good at that. I think. Really, I feel like the issue is you get the double experience thing way too late in the game. I think that's what's really happening here. Although if I had gear, I'd probably be okay. But I've done this game before, and I was at level 20 before, and I'm still kind of having a hard time. This is why I can tell you this. There's really not that big of a difference, really. Like, say what you want, but I did not buy it. So, therefore, I am following the rules. And when it comes to rules, sometimes the rules are the rules. You know what I mean? Sometimes people start saying, "Oh, well, you did." Well, no, I'm following the rules. I did not buy this. Well, you only did that because you were farming Dustia. Is there any rule saying it wasn't allowed to farm Dustia? I don't remember saying I wasn't allowed to farm Dustia. And like I said, all that's really doing is making me have to play this game for a while. Now, if you did play this game without leveling up, I would say that's virtually impossible. Although the guy I was watching doing this, I don't think he prepared himself at all. So if you are gonna do that, then you need to at least prepare yourself. I think he was completely dumb about it, to be perfectly honest. Let's see. How do you play this game without leveling up at all? I think you could do it. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to restart it from the beginning and save a new file. But I feel like I could do it. Let's see. No leveling up at all, except for any level that you might get along the way. That's a pretty hard challenge within itself. And like I said, I'm not even sure if this is enough. Technically, I did not buy Cure or Fire, but I said I'm not allowed to use any magic. So, for the time being, no magic. And I don't think Fire would be really all that useful anyway. Alright, this is not enough, then I have no idea. I suppose if this is not enough, then I officially failed. The only way for me to move on at this point would be to level up some more. And I feel like I've already done that way too many times. As I said, I'm definitely not allowed to level up. But I kind of agreed that I could be level 20. I was talking about it in the beginning. But now that I am level 20, I'm still struggling. So I was not quite correct. I'm not going back to do all this all over again at level 25 or level 30. I was just watching somebody do a Jack and Daxter test. If you ask me, he definitely fails. First of all, half the things that he said, it was only possible because he was using some kind of hack. Which is definitely one of our rules. You're not allowed to use any hacks. Technically, Dusty is not a hack. I gotta beat him. Why in the world do I forget what I'm doing here? Give me a second. Oh. Sorry about that, guys. Like, what the hell? That's how I do that. I'm like, how do I do that? I had a complete memory lapse there for a second. Okay, apparently it was just good enough to pull that off. So it looks like it can continue without leveling up. Huzzah. And I did not buy that, and I don't care what anybody says. I could argue that it's kind of against the rules to level up that much, but as you can see, I'm struggling like a lot. So I'm not really sure what the argument there is. It's like, yeah, I leveled up to level 20. I will admit that, but is it really helping me? Not really. Not really. It's like barely. It's like barely helping me. I don't remember when this happened. Did it happen after I beat him or before I beat Dallas? I think before I beat Dallas, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, before I beat Dallas. Now, I think that Dallas is perfectly fair game. I'm not a fan of the Mist, but Dallas is definitely fair game. Like for sure. I feel like the Mists are kind of cheating a little bit. Only because of the way they operate. The whole chain thing doesn't seem fair. You can just like literally blow up your bad guy. There we go. This area is always relatively easy as soon as you get past the monsters. Balance himself is pretty difficult, but the area itself is fairly simple. I do believe, before I go anywhere, um, there's something I can find here. I seem to recall that there's something I can find here. I just don't remember exactly where it is. Uh, I think it's somewhere else. Is it down there? Or is it up here? I think there's a low chance of finding it too. That's definitely something I would absolutely change. I'll tell you this much. What I would do is this. You're definitely gonna find stuff in my game. For sure, like 100% chance. The rare chances are still gonna be rare, but they're only gonna be like slightly better than the one that you already got. It's not gonna be like this huge thing that like breaks the game. The thing that you already get is gonna be fairly good, basically. And like, I don't know. Here's a good example. Like the gauntlets, they give you an additional chance to attack again. It's gonna be like stuff like that. Like this stat wise, it's gonna be exactly the same more or less. But like the legendary artifact is gonna have an ability, and that's really all this. Like that's really all there's. The things that you find in this game are so incredibly pathetic. It's not even funny. Except for the Zodiac Spear, which is a 1% chance of finding it. And that doesn't increase or change. Like, yeah, no thank you. As many hours as I've played this game, I probably could have found it by now, but still. See, this is where the Zodiac Age would actually absolutely shine, but then you can actually do this stuff really quickly. Times 4, times 2 speed, or times 4 speed. This would still be a lot of hours if you ask me. Instead of timesing 2 speed, I would like to times 2 my chances. You don't usually think about stuff like that. Yeah, I don't care about the time per se, but definitely the odds of me finding this thing, yeah, increase that, please. That's something that you should do. I guess technically doubling the speed would do the same thing, but you would still have to do it a specific number of times, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't have to fight an enemy 100 times. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, at some point this will fail. I'm just not sure exactly when that's going to be. Probably in the next area, actually, because I'm barely high enough level. Yeah, this will almost certainly fail in the next area. So I doubt I'm doubt I'm gonna make it to Arcadia. Well, And I'm barely doing any damage to this guy. Beyond the maze as they take out this boss. Yeah, I have a feeling that it's gonna get hard at this point. As you can see, I'm barely hurting this guy. I'm thinking, technically I did not buy it. That's my primary role right now. Okay. I feel like I'm just gonna continue to adjust. So let's just call that a fail. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay. Sometimes. I'm gonna do something real quick, and it's gonna be like the last time I ever do this. Make sure I don't mess up this time. I don't feel like I would ever use it, but just in case. So I'm gonna end the game. I'm gonna end this video with setting up something else. So I'm gonna try to see if I can play this game completely 100% legit. Well, correction. I already know I can. That's the way I did it the very first time. But it would include leveling up. So that's the thing. You would have to level up in order to play this game 100% legit. So the rule would be only level up enough to buy whatever you need. That's the rule. Although that could be very questionable. Another way you can look at it is like no more than 5 levels per area, maybe. I'm thinking. I feel like the game would be really hard if we did that. I still like the 8 levels per area. The only thing though is that really losing a lot of time. That's the only thing. I really don't like how much time you're losing. Like seriously. I really, really don't like how much time it takes. Like if I had the Zodiac Age, then I would probably wouldn't care. But like it's just gonna take me 2 hours just to do this. I'm gonna set this up and then I'm gonna call it good, and then I'll switch to a different thing. I'm trying to think of like exactly what I want to do, but clearly level 20 was barely enough. Was barely enough. I mean, yeah, I wasn't gonna get anywhere with level 20. I had to be at least level 30, I think. And by the time I'm level 30, it's just kind of dumb because it's not even a challenge anymore. So that's the problem with that. See, I feel like it's definitely a challenge at level 20, but at level 30, I'm too high level. That's why I'm debating about it. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's too high level. I feel like I should start at level 2. See, this area of the game is so ridiculously easy. It kind of sets you up a little bit. Like, for the life of me, I can't figure out what you're supposed to do. I can skip all that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to use the rest of this video to figure out exactly what you're supposed to do. That's not a bad idea. Like, seriously, what exactly am I supposed to do? What's the theory here? Like, how are you supposed to play this game? Nothing stupid. No rules. I'm not adding any rules. I'm not subtracting any rules. What literally am I supposed to do? So we assume that I'm not going to go out of my way to level up because that's like everybody says that, right? That's like the number one. It's like the number one thing that everybody says. But I think getting anything in this area is pointless. If I'm not mistaken. Don't get me wrong, I know how to play the game, but I'm being very specific with what I'm trying to figure out here. I'm trying to figure out something very specific. Because this game is so impossible, as you can see, that the only way to play the game would be to level up. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, if I can't do that, then what am I supposed to do? Okay, let's pretend I'm not allowed to level up. That's like the number one rule, right? Like, how am I supposed to play this game? Because I promise you, you can't. Like, I promise you, it's not possible. And anybody who thinks you can, I don't know, you're freaking delusional. Alright, so first things first, I gotta figure out something. By the way, fun fact, in that little area before I talked to Miguelo, you can't go anywhere. And I think you can go I think you can go places here, but you can't buy anything. I don't think you can buy anything until I don't remember exactly when it happens, but I think it's after you find kites. I think. I can't remember exactly when it happens. But at this present moment, you can't buy anything. I think pretty sure. Then you find kites. I think it happens after you find kites. I'm almost positive it happens after you find kites. Tomato. Okay, so everything that I need to do is quite obvious at this point. Or he's like the only one that actually gives you anything. I keep doing this again. Oh well. The price I paid. Okay, so I'm almost positive you can do it right here. If not, you can definitely do it after you do this window. I feel like you can do it before that though. I think you can do it right here, right now. Am I gonna buy anything? Because I want to set this up in a very specific way. It's pointless. So as I learned, it's pointless buying this and this. I usually buy this. I usually buy that too, but now I realize that it's actually pointless to do that. I never knew that until now. You get it for free, sort of. You have to wait a while before you get it. Okay, so obviously the very next thing I need to do, and like I think is before you talk to kites, you can't. They're not ready yet or something. I'm fairly sure. Kind of wild, kind of interesting programming. So I guess I'll do the tomato and oh, separate from the rats. I'll do the tomato. So we're still in tutorial mode right now. Like what? Like this? I'm just asking for all you try hard. Like you're not allowed to level up people. What am I supposed to do? That's what I want to know. Because you have no idea how hard this game is. I'm gonna play this the same way as Kingdom Hearts. Basically, if there's a monster nearby, I can kill it. This is definitely the first mistake that one guy made, because he was like avoiding everything. Like, I don't care what you say, you definitely need to level up. For the time being, there are no rules. I just have to level up. I just want to get past this one part. I think there's a person around here somewhere. If I'm playing a game, I'm definitely going to be like looking around a little bit as I try to figure out the game. Is it going to be like special video number 2, I guess? I'm doing it a little bit different than last time, but more or less it's the same. Like no Dustia. Okay, so take out him. I'd say absolute minimum would be you need to get the level 2. Because like if I've never played a game before, I didn't really want to walk around a little bit. So I'm talking about something a little bit different this time. Trying to figure out how to play the game. So I'm definitely gonna level up to level 2, like almost 100%. Yeah, I need to figure out what I'm doing, where I am. I need to figure out the map. I need to uncover the map a little bit. Especially if you don't buy any maps, then you definitely need to uncover the map. So that would be a part of your mission every single time. You have to uncover the map. One thing in particular, when I first played when I first played this game, when I went to the Sandacy to Tomb Wraithwell, I was lost there for like 2-3 hours. And I leveled up a good bit because I was lost. I was just literally lost. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where the treasure is. But because I do know where it is, it maybe makes the game harder and easier at the same time. So you have to pretend that you don't know where things are. So if you consider that for a moment, then you would level up a little bit more because you don't know where you're going. You're trying to figure out where you're going. The very first time I ever played the game, I think it was somewhere around 90 hours. It was definitely a longer gameplay. I don't have it anymore. It was definitely a longer gameplay, for sure. Just because of, like, I didn't know any of these shortcuts, or this is how you can level faster. I didn't know any of that stuff. Yeah. I think you get the level 2 regardless when you defeat the tomato. But let me defeat the tomato and then call it good. And then, okay, now next would be helping Pinnell. You don't really level up there. Okay. Maybe you might want to do 1 or 2 hunts. Maybe. You might get to level 3, level 4. And then go try to steal something from the palace, level 5, maybe. Level 6, but Balthier. Like, you're not getting to level 6. You might get to level 6. And let me tell you, you're going to have a hard freaking time. I'm just trying to figure out if am I missing something, because the very next area is so ridiculously hard. Like is not like how am I supposed to do this? That's what I want to know. Okay. I just can't figure out exactly what you're supposed to do. Because the only thing I can think of is that you need to level up. That's literally the only answer. So if you guys are arguing against this leveling up thing, then you're crazy. Because I don't know what else you're supposed to do. Alright, so here, let me go to the club real quick. So best case scenario, I could do a couple hunts. And let me do like the absolute most, I guess. But I don't know. Okay, there's that. And then I gotta go back to the bar. And then I gotta go help Pinnell. After I'm done helping Pinnell, I have no clue. So I'm gonna do all the things I'm supposed to do. And then I'll save it right there. Can I fight him? Maybe with Pinnell I can. No, actually no. I don't know if I'm high enough level to check. I'll do that first. If I can't do it now, I can do it with boss. There we go. Where is the... I always forget about the barkeep. There it is. And by the way, talk about completely and totally useless loot. You get these grimoires or whatever they call them. Yeah, they're completely and totally useless. If they do something, I've never really figured out what they do. I think they give you superior loot, but I'm not convinced. Put it that way. I played this game with and without them. I don't notice the difference. See, I would argue you would have to get your weapons and get your gear before leaving. That would be my argument. Get your weapons, get your gear before leaving. Because the guy I was watching did not do that. And that is definitely like, what? You're just dumb if you do that. Because the game literally says, before you leave, make sure you have everything you need. It literally tells you that. Because it doesn't assume that you will be able to beat this game without buying something. Like, you have to buy something in order to proceed. Like, there's no way for you to do it. It's like you're not even playing the game correctly. It'd be like playing Jak and Daxter without any eco. And by the way, every single person who's ever done that, they always use cheats in order to do it. So that's technically not doing it. like guys, listen to me when I say this. If you have to use a cheat in order to do something, then it's not possible. And I don't care what you say. There's some of the technicalities I can kind of agree with. Like the one I was just watching, he said, "Can you play Jack and Daxter without ever jumping?" And like, you can use the uppercut instead of using a jump. And technically, it's not considered to be a jump. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that. And because when he uppercuts, he goes up in the air, which would be a jump. So whoever says that's technically not considered a jump is just being dumb, in my opinion. Basically, I think their reasoning is because the game is not, because it's not considered a jump in the game. That's an extreme technicality if I ever heard one. Because in my mind, it's a jump. A jump is anytime you go up in the air. He has to go up into the air. That's a jump. So you could argue technicalities as much as you want, but there's one thing I'm not budging on, and he straight up goes out of bounds, which is definitely against the rules. He goes out of bounds in order to play the game. He skipped like half of the game. So that's definitely not. And even if you argue the out of bounds thing, okay, fine. I can almost agree with the out of bounds thing. Okay, that's fine. But the whole skipping the game thing, I definitely disagree with that. There's something called the tomb skip or something like that. It's fairly famous. You should look it up. That's literally like you're not playing the game. You're skipping the game. So if nothing else, that's absolutely fail right there. Because you're not playing the game. You're skipping the game. That's not playing the game. You're skipping the game. That's not even a technicality. That's like what? You're not playing the game. You played like half of the game and you said that you played the game. You can't play half a game and say you played the game. That's not how that works. You said you could partly play the game at most. You started playing the game maybe, but you definitely haven't played the game until you played from all the way from the beginning to all the way into the end. And then you also played the entire freaking game, or at least the majority of it. I would say like all the parts of the game that you're supposed to do. Put it that way. All this extra stuff, yeah, extra stuff doesn't necessarily count, but to a certain degree, I'd almost agree that the extra stuff kind of counts a little bit too, but that's a little bit too far. I would consider playing the game from start to finish, beat the boss, and that's it. Yeah, you don't have to collect all the power cells. You don't have to collect all the precursor orbs. But you do have to beat the final boss. So that would be like my minimum. That would be the minimum requirement. Like, I'm only gonna play the beginning of this game. It's actually not a half-fucking bad idea, actually. And by the way, if you're allowed to use save crystals, I would argue that you're allowed to use potions. But I'm not gonna walk back and forth. I think I like the idea of not buying anything more. I'm allowed to use potions, but I'm not allowed to buy anything. I still like that idea. It's a decent challenge. The no healing thing, I don't know if I agree with it. Because if you can use it, and like you said, like it's the one part where he talks about the crystal. If you're allowed to use the crystal, then that kind of defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it? So if I'm not allowed to level up, then and that's another thing that he mentioned. You're not allowed to level up. And I agree with him on that one. I'm just not sure what you're supposed to do. And he was definitely doing it wrong, in my opinion. He said, I kill everything in the area. That's the way I do it. So, lazy kid. Alright, so I'm gonna get all the way to old Dallin, and then I have no clue after that. I think I'll barely make it to level 3. Even doing everything I'm doing. Okay, there's level 3. Now I'll tell you what I would do. I don't know if you guys would agree, but this is what I would do. I would investigate the entire area before moving on. So, kind of unlocked most of it. Okay, so now we go to O'Dallin, and like I have like no chance. I'd be like level 4. And that skips that. Saving it here will skip the little intro that I have to do every single time. So this seems like a good place to save it actually. And I'd rather not do this a million times either. So, as bare bones as I possibly can, I'm gonna save it right here. Without going, I haven't really gone out of my way to do anything. Just playing normally, and I still get to level 3. But he started at like level 1. I'm like, what are you doing, man? I think he may have been level 2, but it wasn't much. Oh yeah, okay. Alright, so yeah, level 15 was not enough. Interestingly enough. I'd say there's a pretty big difference between level 3 and level 8. Okay, so now I talk to Oak Dallin. They're like, okay, now that I saved it, I saved it. Like, but I don't feel like doing that again. Okay, that's the 1-1. Okay. Alright, so right now I'm not really playing the game. Alright, so this is not, I'm not really playing, okay? I'm just figuring out things. If I go this way, I'll talk to Oak Dallin. I already know that. So, the first thing I would do would be to buy a map. That's what I would do. If I don't have enough money for a map, then I would farm until I had enough. And he's hard to find. As a matter of fact, you probably don't even know that he's here unless you know the game as much as I do. There he is. And it's kind of expensive. I already have enough, but like I would like to earn 500 plus. Okay, if nothing else, like I said, I'm not playing the game right now. If nothing else, absolutely 100%, I would buy my gear before I left. If you don't buy your gear before you leave, I don't know what you're doing. It's not even that good, but still. Yeah, +2, plus 2 is pretty good. I barely have enough for it. And if you really want to know, I would do everything I need, before I left. A map, swords, everything. And then I would leave. Which I would think would put you somewhere around level 8, if I'm not mistaken. might even go out of my way to buy magic before leaving. In particular, this is actually kind of pointless. There's no reason to come here. So at least there's that. But definitely get yourself a better weapon. And then magic, and then I don't know if there's any techniques that are worth it. I already have steel that comes with the game automatically. Pose is, in my opinion, pose is pointless. I only know that because I've tested it so many times. So I'd probably go out of my way to buy it to see what it does. And then I would be really disappointed because it's not very good. I don't think you're leaving this area before level 8. Yeah, look at Libra. That's expensive. Oh, I can't really buy it. I can't really buy anything right now. And Gambit, I can't get Gambits until I meet Bathier. So the next challenge would be to try to fight this wolf. But I don't know if I could do that or not. I'll give it a try. I think I'm too low level. Whoops. I think I'm too low level to fight him. If I'm too low level to fight this wolf, oh, speaking of which, 192. I completely forgot to check that the last time. If I am randomly enough to speaking. If I am randomly able to beat him, I want to check something. I don't think I will. +2 is not that big of a deal. But I would still do it. Even though +2 is really not that big of a deal, I would probably do it because. And the only reason I know is because I've played a lot of RPGs. As a matter of fact, I think I've always done that. It had something to do with my experience, really. I would say absolute minimum would be that. Kingdom Hearts you can pretty much do without getting anything at all because of the way the game is designed. If I am able to beat him, I'm gonna save it again because I don't feel like beating him every single time. I could do the cactus. Well, actually, no, I don't think I could do the cactus. He's a little bit too hard. Let's go on a date now. Not a very romantic date, but it's a date. Wait, 159. Oh man, Ben died. That sucks. Nope, no experience apparently. Interesting. Note to self. Well, I was able to beat him. To be honest, I'm surprised I was able to beat that guy. I think I messed up somewhere. I could have done that without dying. Okay, apparently doing a hunt is not very useful after all. It only gives you license points, although that's still pretty useful. I feel like it should have given you experience and license points. That's a mistake. If I ever saw one. Maybe the later ones do. I feel like it should have at least given me like 20 experience or something. Geez. And I especially hate doing these hunts so early in the game because it makes you have to walk back and forth. And let me tell you, if you have to walk back and forth 10 times, it adds up. This is why I've never done it that way. But if I ever played the Zodiac Age, it might not matter in the Zodiac Age because then I can literally move faster. So at least there's that. I still don't really like. I still don't really like the idea of walking back and forth 10 times. Alright, so the cactus is a little bit out of my league. So I can save it here. It's not really that big of a difference if you get that sword, so it's probably not that big of a deal. +2 attack is really not that big of a deal. The way they calculate weapons in this game is kind of weird. They like multiplied or something. Hmm. The best thing you could buy would be magic, actually. Although late game it becomes kind of pointless. But we're pretending that we don't know that. Although knowing me, I'll definitely buy magic because I prefer magic. I mean, if I'm gonna play a fantasy, then I'm gonna play magic. What's the point of even enjoying a fantasy if you're not gonna use magic? You know what I'm saying? I swear there's no seals. You can actually find a seal outside, but you wouldn't know that. So I guess you could just leave as is right now. There. At level 3. Good. Technically, I could buy the map right now. So, by my own rules, the ones I just stated, I could leave right now. Um, hmm. No way. Yeah, for the life of me, I can't figure out what you're supposed to do. So, like I said, I'm not leveling up. I'm gonna save it right here. Double save it right here. I don't feel like doing that again. And I'll start the game from here from now on. Alright. So in the future, I'll be starting the game from here or here. Maybe there. I feel like that's the best one, but I feel like that one's better, to be honest. I think that one's okay too. Just setting it up that way you don't ever have to do that again. Let's save it here. That will save me an hour. Hey, saving myself an hour is definitely worth it, okay? I'm not gonna, I don't want to do that again. If I have to do that every single time, I mean, come on guys, adds up. There, so I'm gonna save myself an hour. Then I gotta go talk to the, oh wait, I can't go that way. Oh wait, no. I'm not going that way. Never mind. don't pay attention to me. And say goodbye to the Pinel. I must feel like skipping all this too. I just don't like doing this. I would say it starts right as you meet Bathier and Fran. Maybe. There wasn't really anything for me to get, but I don't know. I'm just not convinced. I don't even remember why the level 8. I think I figured out it was kind of like that perfect level, if I recall correctly. So let's go back over here, and let's start the game. So yeah, I guess in the most fair sense, this is where the game starts. Like everything else that just happened was a tutorial, and this is where the game starts. As a matter of fact, you're still in a tutorial. So it doesn't truly start until you meet Ass. It's weird that you can never go back. You can never come back here. This is like a one. This is like a one-time adventure, I think. Once again, I'm gonna kill everything on my way. Okay, I think I'm gonna end it here because I don't really feel like doing the next part right now. And I'll continue another day because yeah, I'll end it here. And since I'm going out of my way to level so low, I think I'm gonna save it here. I'm thinking I'm gonna start it here too because I don't feel like doing any of that over again either. I usually just continue, but I'm kind of kind of done right now. Um, yeah. Wait, yeah. Take it easy, guys.